Our primary business, man, is just helping families, middle-class, hardworking families become homeowners. That's our main business. Yeah.
You're helping a family and you're still making that profit.
Yeah, we're still making a profit.
Making a profit.
Killing two birds with one stone.
It's a good feeling.
And it's karma. So, I mean, you do good things
Yeah,
gonna
I
happen.
mean, like,
All right, here we go. Episode 8, started from the bottom.
Welcome back.
It's kind of a funny story. Special guest today.
yes, indeed.
Yes, sir. Marie Sims and WCS Property Solutions, doing business all over the country, really, and primarily Ohio, Colorado, and Tennessee. Is that right?
Yeah.
Interesting story there. And the company is pretty cool because they're doing real estate deals, but they're also trying to help families get properties. So giving back to the community, and that's a big plus there. So, yeah, without further ado, go ahead and talk a little bit about what you guys have going on.
Appreciate it, man. Appreciate it. Thanks for having me on. So, we're a real estate investment company. We've been in business about 6 years. So, it's a family business helping families. So, there's 6 of my family members in it, and we all work together. My goal when I started this company is I wanted a part-time business. I wanted a full-time company, but I want all employees to work part-time.
Yeah.
So, we all work part-time remotely from anywhere. So, that's why we can do it all over the country. But our primary business, man, is just helping families, middle-class, hardworking families become homeowners. That's our main business. So we find houses, clean them up, fix them up, try to stay underneath the average or median house price, and then we try to sell it to families within 2 years. So we find a family, vet them, put them in it, and then we work with them to buy it from us within 2 years.
Awesome. Awesome.
Yeah.
And so, like, credit-wise with those people, are they working on their credit? Or
Yeah, so the biggest issue with that is most people, why they think they can't have home ownership, is usually down payment, usually credit. Those are the two biggest things. So we built a system, a path to home ownership that we use to do this. And doing that, a couple of different things that we help do it. First off, the first thing we do is we log down the price at the beginning of as soon as we meet up, right? So we log down that price. So if that house appreciates, now that they capture that. So now down payment isn't as big a deal to the lender because it's equity into the property, right? That's usually the biggest thing. And then credit. Yeah. The other thing is, the only reason why most banks use credit, or anybody uses credit, because you're a stranger. You sit across from a stranger, the only way I get to know you is pulling your credit. Well, by them being with us, we can advocate for the family. So if we have 2 months of payments, we can show that they can afford it. So now credit isn't the only way they can use them. They have a neutral party that can speak for them on their behalf and say, okay, right? So we don't make their rent what the rent is in that area. We make it what the mortgage is going to be at that time.
So it's like practice.
So we can prove to the bank that they can afford it, right? That's what helps, right? So if it rents maybe a $1,500, but a mortgage with the interest rates now might be $2,025.
Right.
So we make their rent that, and we got 24 payments to show the bank like they've been able to afford that, because most banks will have a thing that they call payment shock. They don't like when somebody's been renting at $1,000 and then it jumps to $1,800. Right. And in that first month, it hits them in the side of the head, and they're like, I don't know if I could afford this. Yeah. So we help do that. So now credit isn't that big of an issue, right? Right. And then the biggest thing we do is we tie them in with a lender at the beginning. So we use Huntington Bank, we use First Bank, we use a couple of different banks around the country. Yeah. And they tell us that they can't make it. Obviously, they say it's a no, but they tell us why. Yeah. And then we can go back to that family and create a program, a checklist, right? Like, hey, if you hit these things, they'll fund you right away, right? And so that's how we eliminate that hurdle. That's how we get
Very interesting.
Yeah.
Nice.
Yeah. So,
and so are they're paying the mortgage as they go?
So they're paying rent to us. They're paying rent to us because it's two different things. The most important thing, like everything in real estate, there's logistics to it, right? And everything's got to be done right, right? We hear these stories. We hear on YouTube how to do real estate, and we want to jump into it. We don't understand the logistics or how to make it get to the finish line. Sure. Right. So the most important thing in this type of situation is it has to be rent. Anything that you're applying to the property, now that becomes their equitable partner. Yeah. Right. So now if they don't work out and don't want to buy at the end, I almost have to go through an eviction process, a foreclosure process. Yeah. Because now they have equitable interest. So you don't want them to be putting in too much money into the property. Yeah. So it's a lease with an option is what we use on the back end, right? So it's a lease. So they're paying the lease. Now that lease obviously covers all my debts, right? Covers on the back end. Yeah. But it's a lease with an option to buy is what we have. So that's why we keep them as tenants until they're ready to buy, right?
Okay.
Smart.
Yeah,
Smart.
yeah.
Yeah. That's a,
Because you can get hairy if you start collecting too much money. You hear these guys talk about $30,000 paydays for these families that come in, and you can do like lease out or rent to own, right? Well, if you do $30,000, anytime it gets at 10% of whatever the home value is, they have equitable interest. So they have a right to take you to court and say, hey, I put a lot of money in this house. I own a little ownership, and a judge will give them that right and make you foreclose on them, and that's a whole different process.
yeah.
Right.
Yeah. You
So,
don't want to go down that road.
yeah, for sure. Yeah, so it's a lease for sure. And we go through them pretty heavy. You know what I mean? We try to find the family, but you know them. I've been doing it long enough, but you know that family when they walk in the door, man.
Yeah.
You know them. You can tell. You know what I mean? Like I've been waiting for something like this. I've been looking for something like this, right?
Awesome.
So, yeah.
How could you say, like, when a family comes in, like, how can you tell? Like,
It's usually personality. It's usually you can just tell. Like I'm sure you guys have it in contractors, right? When you talk to a contractor, you can tell. You can just get a vibe from like this.
Right.
He want to work.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Right.
Like he wants to go get it. And you can tell. You can just when they walk in, they have a different vibe to them. They're trying to get right to the conversation. What do we need to do? How does this work? You know what I mean? People that's just kicking tires, they're coming in, they're complaining right when they walk in the door. I mean, what is this? I mean, is this real legit? You know what I mean? And so you can kind of tell those people.
You can weed them out.
something about them.
Yeah. And I mean, it's just like renters. Like if you have a rental, the more hoops you put people through, the better tenants you're gonna find, right? And it's worth it in this business, man. Like some people, like, it sucks you have me doing this. I got to send this paperwork. Now I got to send this money. But it all works because if they hit all those things you need them to do, they really want it, right? They really want it,
right?
So that's what
they're going to work.
And so that's kind of how we weed it out. You know what I mean? We kind of make the application process a little bit more than normal. It might be $50, right?
Yeah.
They can probably do one for $15, but if you're gonna spend $50,
you're serious.
You're gonna go a little bit further down the road,
right?
You know what I mean? So that helps weed out, you know what I mean, glorified renters and people who want an opportunity.
Right. Yeah.
Right. Yeah. So that's usually how it works. So usually how the process works is when we have a house ready, we do open house. Okay. We advertise it on Facebook, Craigslist, the normal places, right?
Yep.
And we get the people to come out and they get to, walk the property. And then when I get enough of them, 20 or so, I'll kind of talk to them and say, hey, you know what I mean? Like this is the program, this we got going on. We kind of created an ecosystem inside of this to where when I get a group of people in there, I say, the reality is only one person going to qualify for this. But the good thing is if you guys leave here and you bring me a property that we end up buying, you'll have the first dibs on it before we go to the public, right? So what did that just do? Is just release bird dogs. Now I have all these people that just left our house and they're calling me every week, my landlord, my aunt, my uncle, there's a house over here I saw, right? So our leads come to us. Right? Our leads come to us because there's families that want to get in our program that want the opportunity. So we haven't marketed for leads in a long time because most of the stuff just comes to us.
From a house that they want to live in.
Because they know the program, right?
So it's not some dump and
I'm not sending out direct mail to a million people like everybody else is doing. I mean, I'm having the other part of that is it allows me to buy creative. It allows me to buy these houses because nobody else knows for sale. So I can go to a seller and say, why are you selling? What's the reason why you're selling? What are you trying to do? You know about capital gains. You know about these things. And I can structure it the way that it helps the seller and it helps me keep the price down for that in family. Right. So it's an ecosystem was what's most important we were trying to build. So
you get a lot of your leads that way?
Everything comes that way.
Wow. And then, so if you find a seller that's not listed, so do you do seller finance sometimes?
We'll do seller finance, lease purchase, sub-twos, combination of them.
So you have done sub-twos?
Oh, yeah.
Because I see Pace out there. So some people are like, I don't know if that's totally legal, but I guess if you do it right.
It's legit. I mean, every sub-2 isn't a good sub-2.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Right.
Like there's measurement sticks to it to make sure it's good. I believe personally you don't keep a sub-2 longer than 5 years.
Okay.
I wouldn't, you know what I mean? Just because that's somebody's credit, that's a situation. The main thing that'll kill you on a sub-2 is if somebody does a bankruptcy. They pull a bankruptcy, right? Like you have ownership of the property. So if they do a bankruptcy, when a bankruptcy happens, they always have a meeting of creditors where the judge has everybody that person owes money come and just say, hey, this is what they owe me. You can go to that and say, hey, he sold me this house. You know what I mean? Can you take this out of bankruptcy? But who else is sitting in the aisle? The bank. Right. So now the bank knows, he don't even own the house. And now they can call it due. Right. So that's usually the hurdle with them is people worried about them, the due on sale clause, which is the clause where the bank at any moment can say, pay me off and get me out of this.
Yeah.
Right. And that's most people's fear and a subject too. A bank wouldn't do that unless they knew that they could take that money back and lend it at a higher rate.
Yeah.
Right. And
It's kind of scary. Banks can do that.
Yeah, and they can. They can. I mean, it's at any moment.
So
but you have to understand.
they can call their loan and just say, hey, we want paid now. That's crazy. Is there a certain time they can do that?
They can do it at any moment. They can do it at any moment if there's cost for it, right? If there's something they feel like is a cost
fishy
for it. But you have to understand that we're talking about, let's see, Wells Fargo. They have hundreds of thousands of loans.
Right.
Like they're not spending the money to do a title search on all those loans. They're not spending the money to find out if all these loans are different, because how do they know it's not a rental for you?
Right.
Rental's the same situation, right? Isn't somebody else paying your mortgage for you?
Yeah.
Right.
They're living in it. They're paying you, and you're paying the mortgage. You don't live there.
Right.
No different.
Same kind of thing.
Same thing,
Yeah.
right? It's no same thing. It's just that we identify it different because it's a subject to, so it gives it that cloud over it, right?
Right.
But it's no different than a rental, man.
Yeah.
Like I own a rental, you live in it, you pay me, I pay my mortgage with it.
Yeah.
All they care about is the monthly payment.
Yeah.
Right. So as long as the monthly payment is getting done, it should be good, right?
Shouldn't be
now,
a
there's
problem.
logistics to it, like everything else in real estate. You got to do
certain
the
contracts
paperwork. You got to get it. You know what I mean? You got to
Yeah.
go through the steps to make sure that you don't trigger nothing like that. But I mean, you don't pull no wool over nobody's eyes. You tell them exactly what you're doing. This is what it is.
For sure.
We plan on paying it. You know what I mean?
So he, not to get off topic, but he'll like overpay sometimes just to get the property and make the amortization longer, but he's getting a super low interest rate. I mean,
that's why they're all not good, right? If somebody has a 7% right now, it probably doesn't make sense.
No.
Because you're probably not going to have an exit strategy that's going to cover it, right?
Yeah.
Because that's all that real estate's about.
Yeah.
It doesn't matter what you bought the house for. If you can't get it to the finish line, it means nothing, right? So it could seem as good a deal at the front end, but at the back end, don't make you no money. It doesn't make any difference. So it's certain loans, right? Certain situations, like it's okay to pay. I would overpay for a house too. Say they owe this and I'm going to overpay for it, but if I know that I'm getting $1,000 of the principal every month, right? It makes sense, right? So let's say in theory, the seller wants $15,000 over what it's really worth, right? But I know when I pay that mortgage payment, I'm getting $1,000 to the principal. So
because it's later in the
later in amortization, or it's lower interest rate, so more is going to it, right?
Yeah.
More is going to it.
Yep.
So if I paid over $15,000 in the first 15 months, I'm back even.
Yeah.
And I got a great loan. I didn't have to pull my credit.
Yep.
I didn't have to go qualify, right? So there's certain ones that do make sense. There's certain ones that make sense. Obviously, when Pace is presenting all of his ones, he's presenting the good ones. He's presenting the ones that make sense, right?
And he must be seeing quite a few.
Yeah, I mean, he's got thousands of followers.
He's doing his thing.
Yeah, he's got a lot of opportunity out there. I'm pretty sure it comes to his plate, and he can pick on them and teach a lot of people. You know what I mean? So
definitely, for sure.
Yeah, so they're good.
That's awesome. So project wise around here, what do you have going on?
Right now, I think we just have a couple flips we're working on right now. One of them's in a rental area, so we're not going to really keep that. We'll probably just make it a rental. There's a couple on the market. We're seeing if it makes sense to flip it. Every project I look at, when I run my numbers, I want 3 exit strategies.
Okay.
I want 3 ways I can go with it, right? Depending on what happens with it. So I'm always looking for, is this work as a rental? Does it work as a rent-to-own property, or can I just put it back on the market, right? Market, like all of us know, matters on how many sold in the area and what it's doing, how many days on market, right?
If it's a house,
right? So that's kind of the deciding factor, but they have to fit at least 3 buckets. Before I consider the deal, me personally, right? That's not all investors, but that's just me personally,
right?
But I've been lucky enough to know a lot of different exit strategies. I have a lot of different ways I can, turn that. I can pivot if I need to. So it makes it good.
Yeah, that's good.
Makes it good.
That's good.
Yeah.
What are some of those exit strategies?
The main one, the first one is helping a family, right? So if I can buy the property and be all in, I think the one we're doing now is probably worth $150. We'll be all in about $110.
Okay.
So if I can if I can help a family and be able to sell it at $140, $135 and still make $40K, that's a good strategy for me. Yeah, that's a good. I'll take that all day, right?
And
for sure.
There's no realtors involved, right?
No realtors involved. No.
So that's the other.
So you're helping. You're helping a family, and you're still making that profit.
Yeah, we're still making a profit.
Killing 2 birds with one stone.
Oh yeah. I mean, there's a way in real estate to do it. I don't think enough of us figure out a way to do that.
Right.
I think enough of us just try to squeeze all the juice out of it. But I think when you build a business like yourselves, you know what I mean, when you got a big one, you got enough going on, you can pick a couple projects that maybe don't have to squeeze all the juice out and help one person a year, two people a year, right?
Definitely.
And just help them, give an opportunity. So
Yeah.
I think with thousands of us doing this business, if we just did one a piece a year, I think it would help a lot of people, man.
Yeah.
A lot of people.
Give them back.
Give back.
Yeah.
It feels good, man.
Yeah.
You get to the closing table and they start bawling their eyes out because they're buying a house.
Yeah.
And they was looking
It's a
for a
great
rental
feeling.
before they called you.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Gives me
it's good.
goosebumps. So,
yeah. It's a good feeling.
And it's karma. So, I mean, you do good things are going to
yeah, I
happen.
mean, like I said, I've been lucky for the last 4 years. I haven't had to spend any money on marketing. You know, everything comes to us, and I just think it's just that good vibes. You know what I mean? Treat people the right way, be respectful,
Do it right.
the right
And it
way.
comes right back to you.
Comes back around the corner.
There you
know
go.
what I mean, I've lost money on projects. I didn't, work with some contractors. I'm like, nah.
Yeah. It happens.
Right, it happens.
It
you know what I
happens,
mean?
you
But
know.
you just move on.
Yeah.
You move on. You
Move
know what I
on
mean?
and move forward.
Move on. Because you treat people right, man.
Yeah.
Treat people right.
At the end of the day, that's what it's about.
Yeah, it's a people
100%.
business. I don't care what people tell you about real estate.
Yep.
You know what I mean? It's a people business. You know, you're going to be dealing with people. If it's contractors, other investors, title companies, realtors, it's people.
Yeah.
So all it is, it's
all
real
people.
estate, but it's majority people.
Right.
Yep.
And so,
A lot of businesses.
yeah, a lot of businesses, but this is especially because
Yeah.
it's people where people, this is the biggest bill in most people's lives.
Right.
Yep.
Where they live is the biggest bill in
Yeah.
most people's lives. You
Yep.
know what I mean? And so it's the most important to them. You know what I
Definitely.
mean? So that investment means something to them,
Yeah.
even if it's rent.
Yeah.
It means something to them. You know what I mean? So like figuring that out and learning how to meet people in the middle. You know what I mean? And
Definitely.
putting out a product that's habitable,
Yep.
that they appreciate, that they want to pay for, man.
Yeah.
You'll make money. You'll make it in real estate.
100%.
You'll
Yeah.
make it in real estate. I've never not made, on average, no matter how much we bought a house for and sold it for, on average, when we help a family out, we usually make anywhere from about 50 to 70,000 just because of how it's constructed.
Yeah.
Or how it's
Yeah.
constructed.
No realtor too. That's
Yeah,
beautiful.
I mean, that's big money.
That's big.
money. In it.
Very
So,
good.
That's 6% off the top.
Yeah, in this market, it's
Yeah.
tough.
Dude.
It's a lot of bread, man.
Man.
Realtors, man. Like, I've
Oh
been
my
talking all
God.
the time. Like, you can't, like, meet me a little bit on this.
You know, normally do specs. We're doing some flips now, but mine will do 4%. So she'll say buying is 2 and selling is 2, or if she does it all, she'll do 4. But that's in the contract, so that does help a little bit, but it's still 4%.
Yeah,
It's
it's
no,
still-
there's no way around it.
Yeah. And I mean, it work. Usually we run our numbers so it's in there. We know it's in there.
Yeah.
But you know how it is. We get some projects, man, where like the meat ain't as much on the bone as you thought.
No,
you know what I mean?
no.
If you could help me out on this realtor fee, that'd help me a little bit.
Yeah.
But they usually pretty hold you to it. You know what I mean? It's in the
100%,
contract.
yeah.
It's in the contract.
It's in the contract. So, I mean,
Yeah.
if it's in the contract, then
Yeah,
It's in the
and that's why me personally, why I never thought about getting my realtor's license. I don't like that side of it.
Yeah.
I don't like to have to present that all the time. Me personally, I like having some equity in the deal. Like I had some control in the deal.
Yeah.
A realtor, I don't feel like really
Right.
does as
Right.
much. You know what I mean? You represent parties.
equity's where the money is.
Yeah, I mean, you gotta have equity and you gotta have control in it, man.
Right.
Like you gotta have control in it because things change, man. You know what I mean? We
Definitely.
just had a presidency vote, right? Like,
Yep.
I mean, we don't know at the beginning of the year what mortgage interest rate's going to look like, what money's going to be worth. So being an investor side of it and having money and having control of your property, you have a say in that.
Right.
You have a say in
Definitely.
what you
Right.
do. Realtor, all I can tell you is you ain't going to walk away with nothing.
Right.
You're going to make some, but I still
Right.
need my cut.
Yep.
Right. And so I don't like that position.
Yeah.
I don't like that position personally.
That's why we haven't really got investors yet, because man, it's the equities where it's at. Plus, you're in control. Start
Yeah.
getting other people, and got to make sure
Yeah.
everyone's in the same. Everyone thinks
For
the
sure,
line.
for sure. And I use a lot of private money, man. I do. I use a lot of other investors, passive investors for it. My reasoning for it is because it's extremely flexible.
Yeah.
Extremely flexible.
Yeah.
I mean, because again, it's just another step of everything else. It's a relationship business.
Right.
And you have a relationship with regular people.
Yeah.
If I have a job, I have a house that I was going to flip, and maybe it's not selling what I need to clear. You know what I mean? All I got to do is have a phone call with you. I just call you up. Hey, I know he's going to flip this, but I think what we're going to do is make it a rental, and I'll split the profits with you 50-50 for X amount of months to get you paid off, or however you want to do it. Or you can keep your money in it long term. But that's different. If I go to Wells Fargo, I can't go in there
Right.
talking about, hey, man, that ain't working out the way I thought it
They'll
would
be
work
like,
out. They're like,
"What?"
it ain't my problem.
Yeah. Plus, getting a loan from a bank takes way longer.
Yeah, I mean, and we're entrepreneurs.
Yeah.
I ain't got no tax return.
Right,
You know what I
right,
mean? Like,
right.
it ain't easy for me to go in there and
No,
get that paper
no,
from you.
no.
You know what I mean? So,
Yeah.
like, that's why I like private money, because it's extremely flexible. And the other part of it is part of our model where we're just families helping families, man.
Right.
It's regular people that have worked for 40, 50 years, collected up some money, but it's trickling in.
Yep.
It's trickling in. And then I have an opportunity to show you how to make 10% this year.
Right.
You ain't made 10% in 20 years.
Right.
Right? Like, and so that's why I like it, because it's allowing us to help regular people with a little change start to turn that thing over. You know what I mean? And we help them realize, like, man, I thought that $100,000 that I had in my 401k was going to be my retirement. You know what I mean? I'm like, well, let's, you know what I mean? Let's cut that up a little bit. You know what I'm saying? If you retire at 65 and you say, let's say $5,000 for you to be comfortable, you divide that into 100, you only got a few months, man. You know what I mean? You got just a little change there. You know what I mean? So, but nobody ever teaches regular people that, how money works. How money works.
Money, man.
And we get blessed to understand that in real estate, because we learn how money works, how it really works.
Definitely.
How it really works. We understand how it moves and shakes and how it stacks, right? And how return on investment is important. It's really not what you're putting into it. It's on that return.
That return.
The return. I can give you $1,000, but if you're coming back on a good return, okay, now we talking. Now we talking.
It's all about the return.
It's return.
Yeah.
So.
Private money. We haven't done a whole lot of that, but that's definitely something.
You're in a different world. You know, I've been big apartments and all things like that. So like it's a different world with that. But I mean, it helps, man. It's a big thing. It's a big thing.
I like the speed of it. I mean, so the difference, private, maybe you're paying a little more interest sometimes, but it's quick. And maybe not. Maybe not.
It just depends on.
It just depends. But it's all about relationships. You know.
I mean, it's a lot of people, man. I think that last I heard, I think there was 30 trillion in retirement funds, right? 30 trillion. That's a lot of money out there. There's a lot of people that have no idea what to do with it. Right? They have no idea how money works. Somebody, they got a job. They sat down at internship, right? And they told them, hey, put X amount in here and we'll match it. And they've been doing that for 40, 50 years, right? They have no idea what it's doing, right? And so there's a ton of people, man. There's a ton of people that switch jobs, been on a job for 10 years, switched to another job, and that old 401k is just sitting there. You can turn it into a self-directed IRA and lend on that today.
So they transfer it to a self-directed IRA, which we've done that a little bit too. So I'm managing some for my dad, my wife, and myself. As it turns out, it's a lot of extra time, so I probably wouldn't do that again. But anyway, so you can borrow against that without taking it out and use it like in real estate and get a return on your money without even taking it out. Because if you take it out, you get taxed.
You get taxed. So if it hits your hands, you get taxed on it, right? But so most people have.
That's pretty cool.
It's a cool strategy, man. And there's a lot of people that have switched jobs and was that first or second job they were there for a long time, 50, 60,000. You know what I mean? Sitting there, and they haven't even moved it over, wrote it anywhere. It's just sitting there. It's just sitting in Janus or something. Well, as long as you're not employed with that employer, you can use it. Now, if it's with that employer, you can only do a certain amount. A certain amount. I think you can go with the 30,000 or 3% of whatever the balance is, right? Whichever's less. Right. But if it's old when you don't work there, you can move it over to self-directed IRA, and then that self-directed means I get to direct where the money's going, where I want to put the money. You can put it into real estate, you can put it into crypto, you can put it into any kind of investment. The whole point of it is that self-directed IRA is a neutral party, but they control the money. So you just call them and say, hey, I want to use my money, and you call, I want to send it to Maurice, send them 50,000 to be into this property, and then they'll do it. The most powerful, the biggest thing on that is this tax strategy, because every dollar you earn is not taxed. It goes right back into it. As long as it doesn't go in your pocket, it goes right back into self-directed IRA. You can do that as much as possible without tax.
Compounding it.
And it compounds, and that's why it's huge. That's why it's huge, right? So I think the biggest thing most people don't do is figure out what is a good return for them.
Right.
You have a different return than I'm gonna have. He probably has a different return than you will have, right? I mean, because where we are in our lives and what we're trying to accomplish, you may not do nothing under 17%.
Right.
He may take 6.
Right.
You know what I mean? I may take 10. Right. So like most people don't know what kind of return they even really want.
Right.
You know what I mean? What they're really even shooting for. So being able to know that helps you tell if it's a good investment. Because I can walk up to anybody on the street and say, I got a great investment. But the power in that is knowing what's a great investment for you. Right. So understanding that, like, listen, if I'm trying to get here, I'm trying to get $1 million by the time I'm 70, right? And right now I got $100,000. I need X amount of returns on every investment I do, right? And when you know that, well, then when you meet me or you meet him, you know exactly what kind of return on investment you're looking for. I need something better than that. I need at least 12. Right? You know that, right? So I think that's the part about people people not understanding how money works, right?
Yeah.
Right.
And educating people on how that works.
So do you normally ask these people what kind of return they're looking for?
Oh
first?
yeah, we do. Yeah. We start, every person I talk to, I start off with, what do you have right now? What do you want?
Yeah.
Right. We just do a quick little thing. What does it cost right now for you to live comfortable? What's your monthly? You don't gotta give me exact, just give me a round number.
Yeah.
Most average people is like 5 to 7 usually, and I say, okay, when you retire, is that the same amount? And I'm talking about to go see the grandbabies, get the new car if you want, live comfortable.
Yeah.
Live comfortable.
Hang out.
Because
do
most
some
people don't think
traveling.
about that. They just think about, well, if my free and clear mortgage, all I need, okay, I need $1,200. No, I'm talking about to live good, right? To live comfortable, right? And usually that's 5 to 7 grand, sometimes 10. So you take that number and you say, okay, well, what do you have right now, right? And let's say they had 100 grand. If they said they need 10 grand, we try to divide that. That's only 10 months. That's it. That's all that is, right? But you didn't work 25 years, right? So if you know that, okay, so now we have to change our ROI. Okay, now we have to try to build this thing up. If we need $1 million and we only have 100, what kind of ROIs are we looking for? What kind of returns we need to get there? If I'm 40 right now and at 70, I want to have this cash, right? And so we figure out what that return is.
Right.
We figure out what that return is, and then we kind of give them an idea. And so once I put all that effort into them and show them, now I'm not asking them for anything. I'm just saying, I got an opportunity. This is 12%. Would you like that?
Yeah.
This deal only gives me 8%. You want 8%?
Yeah.
I can't do 8. I need at least 9. All right, well, let me see if I can get you 9.
Right.
But we give the power back to them.
Yeah.
And then now, when it comes to private money, most people are afraid of because they feel like they're asking for money.
Yeah.
But give people the power.
Yeah.
If they know what kind of return they need because you're spending time to educate them, you're not asking for nothing. It's an opportunity.
Yeah.
Anytime what happens on these real estate events is we go to them or we know other investors, and there may be 1,000 of us there. But when you spread them all across the country, it's not that many of us.
Right.
But there's millions of people that are looking for us.
Yeah.
They're looking for an opportunity. They know that money's in real estate, but they don't want to be a landlord.
Right.
I don't want to flip houses.
Right.
But I know the money's over there.
Yeah.
Right. So it's an opportunity, man. You're not asking for money. You're providing an opportunity for this person to get great returns.
Yeah.
But on a secure, protected, and insured asset.
Yeah.
It's tangible.
Yeah.
And you know nothing else you invest in like real estate that you can drive by. It's brick and mortar.
Yep.
You can go see it. You can go touch it.
Touch it.
Come over and look at
Yep.
it. There ain't other investments you can do that in that is secured, that is a physical investment. Right. On top of that, you get all the paperwork a bank's going to give you. You get a mortgage, promissory note, you go on insurance. Right. So I mean, investment is an investment. There's always a risk.
Right.
But this is about as good as one you can do. It's real estate.
Definitely.
Yep.
And so I think
100%.
once people figure that out and understand that like any of us can be a bank at any moment, we just assume we have to do it similar to realtors. We think we have to use a realtor to sell. We don't. We can sell the house ourselves.
Right.
Right. But we just think that's the only way.
Right.
So it's kind of the same thing, man.
I like it.
Yeah,
I like it.
it is.
Yeah. That's sales, and you're not really even trying,
No, you're just talking the truth.
and you're just trying to get them what they need.
Where are we trying to go?
Yeah.
Let's figure out where we're trying to go.
Yeah.
Because most of us ain't like us. Sitting
Right.
there. We know where we're trying to go.
Right.
Most people don't. You know
Yeah.
what I mean? They're grinding for going nowhere, right?
Yeah.
So, but that's why I love real estate, because it forces you to kind of get some clarity.
Yeah.
It forces you to figure out, like, what am I trying to do?
Yeah,
Where am I going?
definitely.
Yeah.
It's a lot of bread in this. So let me figure out where I'm investing, where I'm going.
Right,
And so
right.
it gives you a lot of clarity.
So looking into the future, you're primarily just focusing on residential. You're going to get into multifamily some.
Probably not. I mean, if I do get into a multifamily, it'll be something where like a 20 unit, maybe a 30 unit, where we put families in, but we transition them into our houses.
Yeah.
Right.
Okay.
So X amount of the rent goes towards their down payment to get into our program.
Yeah. So
Something
you still
like
got
that.
the same kind of program.
Yeah.
Okay.
Same type of thing.
Yeah.
Some type of thing where I can put 30 families in there and work on them from the bottom.
Yeah,
Right.
okay.
And work them into it. Because there's just a huge need. I mean, we all have different desires in real estate, and multifamily isn't a big one for me. My big one is just trying to help families as much as we can, man.
That's awesome.
As we can, yeah.
That's good.
It's a great thing.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's worked out. It's worked out good.
100%.
So the self-managed IRA, at one point I was like all in the stock. I was going into everything, right?
Yeah.
But then you kind of figure out there's just not enough time. But I was all into it, so I was managing one for my dad. I'm still doing this, but not as heavy. But I bought 40,000 of NVIDIA probably like 3 years ago. It's worth like 600,000. That was a good one.
Yeah,
So,
you can blow some out every now and then.
every now and then. But then, there's other ones where it's like, nah. But
man.
overall, we're up. But the other one I'm happy on is crypto, man. So
we get your hands on it. That's the biggest.
We have 4.88 Bitcoins at 34.
Okay.
And so by next April or May, with this halving, every 4 years is halving, and then about a year to 18 months after, it goes crazy.
Oh, okay.
So it's probably going to hit 200 to 300 by next May or April.
Okay.
April or May. So yeah, we're probably going to sell some, and then it does dip. I mean, it's not really that hard after seeing the cycles.
Okay.
It's kind of repetitive. I mean, it's no guarantee, obviously.
Yeah.
And more countries are buying and everything. So I'm still kind of.
There you go.
I'm into a little bit, So we'll see if we can capitalize on that. Yeah. I'd like to, this MicroStrategy is a guy, Saylor, is that his name? Michael Saylor,
yeah.
So all he does is buy Bitcoin. He thinks it'll be a lot of people think it'll be $1 million a coin, which is still pretty high. He thinks it's going to be 10 million a coin. So that's crazy. But anyway, we'll see. We'll see if that all works out. But I'm more confident about Bitcoin right now than I ever have been. Just all kinds of, countries are buying it. It's
more. The U.S. is buying 1 million Bitcoin. I heard that.
Something crazy. Yeah. But a lot of the top holders are countries. So that makes me feel better too. But anyway, that's getting off topic. But so, we are obviously getting ready to do apartments. We're going to be doing Flex in the spring. We're doing that other office building. And we're looking for the next. I'm really like, what is my next project here? I mean, we got 3 getting ready to start. So is it going to be storage? We're 85% on the one we opened about 20 months ago. So that's solid.
Yeah.
We're about 90% in heat. So the problem is when someone comes in and opens one next to you, it's not as good. So that happened in Heath, and where we're doing our Flex project, that was going to be storage. We changed it.
Okay.
Good thing, because it's not quite as good as it was, but it's still good. I mean, it's super easy to manage. That's the plus. But so we'll see. We'll see what the next projects are. But Flex, I got a good feeling about that. But we've never done it, so that's kind of up in the air. Apartments, I know it's going to work, but again, we just got to get them built, get them full. So whether it's storage, Flex, apartments, I'm not sure, but I'm trying to get into the bigger stuff.
Yeah, for sure. You got the bandwidth for it.
So I mean, we can do the drawings, new construction. That's kind of our bread and butter. So that helps. But I love your story, and you don't even have to market. That's great. I'd love to get there. That's kind of what I'm trying to build the brand and just build that reputation to where people are just bringing us, hey, we got this land. Can I partner with you? But you just got to keep producing.
Yeah, keep producing, and as much as possible, if you can put purpose to it, makes it easier.
Yeah,
people always like being a part of purpose.
Right. I got to figure out that part. So I gotta brainstorm with you on that.
Yeah. Put a little purpose to it, a reason why you're doing what you're trying to do. You know what I mean? I know your son's in it now, so write that too. Trying to build that family thing.
Family.
So I mean, that's purpose, right?
Family dynasty, and if we can do it, why can't your family?
Right. Somebody else. So teaching other families how to do that. So
build that family office.
Put some purpose to it, man.
Yeah.
It makes it a lot
good.
easier.
Yeah, I like that. Yeah,
it makes it a lot easier.
That's good. So we got Ohio State's got a big game tomorrow. So what you into college football or not?
You already know, man. We're Buffs, man. You already know them Buffs.
Okay. So have you been to a game?
Yeah, hell no. Not the recent one.
Oh man.
And we was going for like $25 a seat. Now it's just like $250. Like,
oh man,
it's nuts up there. I mean, I think last
came in and turned that around.
I think last year you made them $113 million or something.
Oh man,
like the city. Like
I think that was a great hire there, man.
Good hire for everything.
You see, they just got that quarterback.
Yeah.
So that's he's doing a nice job. What are they? 8-2 now.
8-2.
8-2. That's big.
I might get. I mean, obviously get into the bowl game, but we'll see.
So, they're going to a bowl. So last year they started strong, kind of. They were still filling the roster.
Yeah.
So they had another year to kind of turn the roster. They got that offensive tackle who started as a freshman. Dion obviously is Dion, so got that quarterback now. It's looking up.
Yeah. There's an upside to it, so we'll see. They
got to hold on to him.
Yeah, we'll see if we can hold on to him.
Man, because if his son leaves, then that's which he is, right? He's a junior. He's gone. He'll be top 5, right?
I'm sure. I'm sure. Ain't that much.
He's got to be.
Yeah, I'm sure. I'm sure. So I don't know if we'll hold on to them or not, but so you got to ride it while you can.
That's it,
We
man.
need the big schools like y'all where we got years of it. You know what I mean? Right. The tradition's here with y'all. It comes and goes for us.
Right.
So you just ride that wave.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
Ride that
Take it
wave.
when you can get it, man.
Yeah.
I mean, getting prime time, that was big.
Yeah, I don't know how we pulled that off, but we did.
And his son, I mean, he's turning, I mean, his dad is who he is. So he's got the
but,
genes.
Yeah, you still got a ball, though.
You still got a ball. So he's going out and doing it.
Yeah, still got a ball, no matter who your parents are.
Yep. So he was actually a real good baseball player.
Yeah, she was telling me.
Yeah, and he got burned out, but committed to Ohio State and everything. So even to be good enough to commit to Ohio State, that's an accomplishment. I mean, that was big.
Plenty that don't get that call.
Yeah.
Plenty.
So if anything, just taught him hard work. Like hard work, dedication can
Go
take
get
you
it.
far.
Go get it.
Definitely.
And he had talent too, but he worked really hard.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
the sky's the limit, man. If you want to put the work in,
Yeah, you gotta really commit to it, man. Commit to it. Some rough days in all the professions. There's some rough days, you know what I mean? But
well, it's just like, social
grind.
media stuff, and half time I'm like, am I doing the right thing here? It's so much time, but I just got to keep looking at the the light at the end of the tunnel and just keep
I
grinding,
don't know
keep
what it's gonna
grinding.
bring you. You know what I mean? But
Right.
stick
Something
to
will
it.
come of it one
Yeah.
day.
Yeah, it will. It will. And even if it, dies out, you know what I mean? You can go back and grab that content at different times.
Right.
You know what I
Right.
mean? You got it forever.
Right.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Right.
So
Right.
you can recycle it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But if you don't do it, then you'll be like, man, I should hit that social media.
Right.
So I think that's what life's about, man. Just do it. Don't work out, but you'll never say, man, I should have tried it.
Yeah.
Yep.
Right.
Try
And then you look at the biggest guys, the guys I watch on social media, I'm like, I should be doing that. You know what I mean? It's like, what the hell?
Yeah.
So just keep pushing, man. Deals coming up. I mean, you got anything in the
Oh, yeah,
the
we always
pipeline?
have some. I think we got 4 or something waiting to close on now. A couple's in probate, so it takes a little time.
Yeah.
In probate. But yeah, I think we got 4 or so coming up right now. We're starting. Our goal is to do 20 family. We want 200 families in the next 10 years. So 20 families a year on top of the other stuff. We do all the other strategies too, flip and buying hoes and stuff like that. But our primary focus is that. So if I can hit that 20 next year families, that'll be nice. That'll be nice to do
Definitely a
that.
good
We'll be on the
number.
road. Yeah, to do that.
That's a lot.
And then so then the other deals that whatever comes up that makes sense, we do that too.
So of those 20, like what states are we?
They'll kind of be anywhere. We kind of the main spots we do it probably here in Ohio and Colorado. Those are my 2 spots I really like to do. Memphis is a little harder to do that.
Yeah.
Memphis is kind of flipping Memphis a lot and buying hoes. It's kind of harder to do it there because I don't have a good relationship with banks and stuff there. So, but this would be right at 2 spots.
Yeah.
If I can do that. Yeah.
So we love Colorado, by the way. We've been skiing out there. I think I told you that. So I'd like to get an investment property out there.
Yeah, it's gonna cost you a little change.
That's right. that down payment out there is a little different.
It's a little
than right
different,
here.
man.
A little bit different, yeah.
But
Right
the
here.
appreciation, though.
Yeah. It's man, different rules though. Like landlords different out there.
Yeah.
We
The Airbnb and
blue
stuff.
State. Airbnb none.
None. Not in the whole state.
You got to occupy it, so you got to live in it.
So you.
You can do the basement or something, but you got to live in it. I mean, the Airbnb is good money. I got one out here, Buckeye Lake out here.
Yeah.
Yeah, I got one in Memphis. Memphis one, man, somebody just went in and cleared us out. They did like a one that we had a problem. We had a problem with it, so we took it off. I think we had like bugs or something. So we get it sprayed. But when we put it back up, we didn't do a 2-night minimum. We did 1 night.
Okay.
So they clocked for 1 night, came in, man, and cleaned us out.
Just
Everything.
stole everything?
Vanities, hot water tank.
Oh, my
Everything.
God.
Everything's gone. All
That's
of it. We
crazy.
put like 35 in it. We did like a zoo theme in there, so we had put wallpaper up in different rooms and cleaned us out.
Oh, my God.
Cleaned us out.
That's terrible.
So I mean,
And then
so
insurance, like,
they'll come
it's a
in.
racket.
You know what that is.
You're going to pay a lot more. You're going to pay a huge deductible.
And
Your insurance goes up.
They're gonna try to get out of whatever they.
then they're
going
gonna
to
drop you anyway.
Damn.
It's a racket.
So that's a whole nother thing. Most people don't understand that Airbnb is hospitality.
Yeah.
They don't know that's hotels.
Yeah.
Man. That's like a whole different ball game.
It's a whole different ballgame.
whole different ball game, man.
Yeah. So what we're trying to do is like midterm. Like
That's the one.
So we had it at 30 days. We just finished one in Heath, by the way. So you have to check it out.
Yeah.
It's super nice. We had 2 different people that were going to do it,
Okay.
and it just fell through. But we're going to be patient. But we lowered it to 10 just around this holiday, and we'll just kind of see. But got to be patient, you know.
Yeah.
And then we don't want to start going 1 or 2 days because they'll beat the hell out of it.
Yeah, they will.
Yeah.
They will. And it's kind of the same thing, man. That stuff you got to kind of market it too.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like a lot of the guys that do really good with that stuff, they make a website with it.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Just kind of push their website and kind of get it in some eyes on it. You know what I mean? So, but yeah, the midterm thing's a good thing. I heard a lot of people do well with that.
Yeah.
Well with the
Some
midterm.
people that need it for insurance, like something's wrong with their house.
Yeah.
That's a big one. So Ryan Pineda, he had a couple on that has 19.
Okay.
And they arbitrage like half of them.
Okay.
So they're just subleasing basically.
Yep.
And you got to get that approved with your landlord. But they're killing it. They're making like $600 a year. But like 40% is Airbnb, but it's midterm. And then the other 60 is through insurance.
Okay.
Insurance claims. So where people need a place, they got to have a place.
Yeah,
and
good money in that.
they pay even more than Airbnb.
Oh yeah, they kill. I think somebody did Buckeye Lake for me. I think it was $4,000 for like 15 days.
Right. Something crazy.
Yeah, something stupid.
So I'm trying to figure that out too, but one thing at a time. But midterm and the insurance, trying to look at that for that. But again, it's marketing. So
it's just people business. You just got to get with the right claim adjusters.
Yep.
You know what I mean? You got to get on the phone, call them. Hey, you got some spots?
Right.
Yeah, in this area, I got one that I'll use. You guys can use. You know what I mean? Just get on their list. You know what I mean? But just you got to pound the concrete a little bit.
You got to pound it. Yep.
Yeah.
So that's the next step. I just got to get out there.
Yeah.
Yep. It's listed on VRBO, Airbnb, and there's another one for travel nurses too. I can't remember what it's called.
I forgot what it's called.
Yeah.
I know what you're talking about.
It shows up on Facebook.
Yeah.
So
I forgot what it's called.
they're paying for that, but we'll see. I think it can be good. I mean, that couple specializes in it, and that's all they're doing, and they're killing it. Of course, you got to be in the right areas too. So Heath might be a little bit of a stretch, but still.
Yeah, I mean, that's a big hospital there, and there's not one close.
Right.
That's the hospital, like for the main, you know what I mean, in this area for a while. So I think something around there.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Just got to be patient. We've had like 54 views like in a week, something like that, maybe a week and a half. So you just got to be patient, and then again, just start getting it out there to everyone. Adjusters, like you're saying.
Yeah, I think get on the horn too with the hospital, because I don't know what department it is with the hospital, but one of the departments the nurses reach out to that they're coming. So you just need to get in front of that, right? The person who knows that got the nurses come in and be like, hey, I got a spot right here. You know what I mean? So you just got to figure out who that person is and tie in with them, and then they'll help you book
and we're pretty much in with the hospital because we have a home health company. So we'll just get in there and
just figure out it's just the right person.
Right.
Figure out the right person to talk to.
Yep. Absolutely.
Let's get it plugged in.
Yep.
That's all you wanted to do.
So we'll see.
Yourself.
Where are you going? Back to Colorado?
Yeah, I'll go back to Colorado for a week for the holiday, and then I'll be back, knock out this last project we got going on, and see what happens then.
Yep. You got some pretty good subs around here?
Yeah, a few. Yeah. They far in between, but it's all right. We're working on it. It's part of the business.
It's part of the business, man.
Yeah, you never stop looking for subcontractors and money.
You gotta keep finding, more reasonable, good contractors, man. Because man,
I get it, but I mean, the other part of that is keeping them eating. You gotta keep them fed.
Yeah,
you know what I mean, you can't ask for a discount. Can't keep them fed. So that's the other part of it, man. You gotta get that engine going and keep it moving for them. So
I saved some money recently, but then I'm having more headaches. So it's like,
it's been there. Save a couple bucks, but do it twice.
Do it twice, or it's just annoying. Gives you gray hair. Like I don't need that. I don't need that shit in my life.
It's part of it, man.
Oh shit. Well, we appreciate you coming on, man.
Yeah, it was good.
This is awesome. A lot of good value here.
Ton of value.
And we'll be chopping this up. So this will be going on Facebook, YouTube, and then we'll go on to Apple Music and Spotify as well, which we'll start uploading that. And for everyone out there, we paused the podcast for a little bit because we've been doing this other social media, which it's kind of funny actually, some of the stuff we're doing. But we're just building the audience, and more is coming. We're really going to start pumping this podcast again. So it's going to be good, but a lot of value today. Appreciate it. And I mean, you can always learn something. You learn something new every day.
It's a big space.
That's it.
Definitely.
That's it.
Yeah, it's great having you on.
I'd like to take you to some of our projects. I'd like to go see some of yours, man.
So, you know what it is. I love doing this. What I do for a living.
Do some coffee and go check it out. He'd like to see it too.
Yeah, definitely.
For sure. Always.
All right, man. Well, until the next one, it's a good episode.
Yeah.
Check it out, and we'll holler at you.